It escapes me that it's been 3 years since I first heard of Prodeus. It feels like I started playing the early access launch yesterday. In every respect, the game looked phenomenal. The graphics, the gameplay, the violence, everything about it resonated with me. So it can be imagined that the full release was an event. I kept consulting the clock, waiting for the game to go live. The game starts with our death and reconstruction as the vessel of the Prodeus. Amid a war with the chaos, we cannot be corrupted, however. We defy their order, with full access to their technologies. Both sides will be brought to their end. That's the premise, without much context beyond it. Just enough for a warpath. And damn is each step taken along its road gratifying. The brutal Doom inspiration is unmistakable. The sound and feel of gunfire conveys power, the bloodshed and gore reaffirming it. You'll go through hordes bathing the screen in blood, marking a place as having been there. It's excessive. I like it. With strong driving music by Andrew Holschultz, every encounter is one to live up to, and the arsenal to do it with is vast. Weapons of an ammo class are mapped out to a single key by default, with something like the auto shotgun that can see you tapping away 3 times. It can take a bit for muscle memory to set, to really appreciate the convenience, but once it does, switching based off the threat becomes intuitive. Guns that you would think would get displaced like the standard shotgun or pistol are my favorite in their class. The pistol has amazing accuracy and ammo pool, each of its shots lethal, and I can't get enough of the sound of pumping shells, especially following an explosive headshot on the chaos. In fact, at some point automatic weapons became a last resort. With guns like the arc rail, I was seldom in need of them. Once converted chaos and Proteans become common, the super shotgun and grenade launcher are all I need. The gunplay is sublime, but when a clip runs dry, one of 2 contentious points of the game surfaces: reloading. I personally like it, as there is an air of aggression to it, weaving well into the game's fabric, but having to reload multiple weapons, chiefly in a firefight, can get vexing. There is nothing worse than something like this game's version of the Pain Elemental, the Void Reaper, being met with a reload rather than a blast from a rocket or grenade launcher instead. In a style of FPS where arenas are common, the action frenetic, weapon changes frequent, you can imagine how much of a preoccupation it becomes. Regardless, I do think it works for the better, increasing the tension of a fight, although that problem's the second point that I'll get into briefly. The levels of Prodeus make a forcible impression. It's hard not to marvel when each is so distinct and memorable. With their detail and complexity, along with the occasional set piece, they feel like locations. Spanning an overworld that parallels one out of a Mario game, it's great, even if it takes time to retread ground. I do prefer the style of the first half of levels, where it's less open, more classic Doom. The final half still has that, the heavy-hitting back-to-back arenas are more a focus. The levels brim with secrets, and with an auto-map pickup, you're encouraged to explore. Not just for the usual health and armor either, but ore, a currency that can be used for unlocks in the shop. I like the idea, not so much the practice. You're notified when you have enough for a weapon, but one like the super shotgun, you can bet it takes precedence. But that's the crux. The shop makes sense for upgrades or specialty weapons, not staples like it and the plasma rifle. I also question it for abilities like the dash and double jump, but these 2 make more sense though. I chose the dash at first, lamenting the choice, since it doesn't cover much distance. I didn't see the utility until I performed the action in the air. My eyes widen. For micro adjustment, it is a godsend, and once paired with the double jump, the game never feels the same. Prodeus hits 11. You enter the fray at its most perilous, without any doubt that you'll emerge triumphant. Even on ultra hard, the hardest difficulty, that sense of empowerment, the game's greatest virtue, makes you feel the game's greatest weakness. That second contentious point, even more: respawning. This game doesn't feature quick saves, resorting to checkpoints instead, which wouldn't be a sore point if it made a safe state, but it respawns you with progress intact, leaving enemies killed, not only at full health, but sometimes at a point of vantage, where you can't pick off what's left. There isn't an option for it either, your alternative being a level restart, which 9 times out of 10 what I did. It can't take the adrenaline out of a fight, rendering a victory hollow, like you're being patronized. For casual play, when you're not in the mood to grind out a level, it's fine, and from a potential story stance, the inclusion makes sense. Prodeus doesn't lose all its fun, hell no, but the lack of an option or limit considering it has been the most vocal complaint since the early access debut, is striking. Similar to how the campaign experience ends. We get a new weapon, which I don't see the benefit in using. Enemies start adopting shields, and 2 new types are introduced, all in the last 4 levels. In addition, the end comes abruptly, leaving you confused with text that it hasn't. The campaign is good overall. I beat it twice now, just that the ending feels rushed, that there should be more. It was about 8 hours for the initial playthrough, with the fun nearly constant by the way. While crossplay isn't available as of now, there is online co-op and multiplayer on offer. Unfortunately, on PC, I was never able to find a game. No matter how many times I refreshed, I was really looking forward to some deathmatch. However, community maps more than compensated. The game features a level editor, where you can create your own, or play those that others have made. This includes campaigns. When you consider that something like Classic Doom is still going strong to this day, the excitement is real. I played several top-rated maps, and you know what? The caliber is comparable to official ones. Whether remakes from other games, or original, it's amazing to have a showcase for community creativity. I would like to have the ability to sequence levels to make my own campaign from them, perhaps in a future update. In the shadow of its blemishes, should you check out Prodeus? Unequivocally, Prodeus is amazing. They don't invalidate the joy of its gunplay and world. I was left wanting to start the campaign anew, before checking out the multiplayer and community maps. While I do hope to see a change to the respawn system, it's certainly not a deal breaker. The game offers considerable value as is, so consider the future of updates and community involvement. User levels and campaigns are a testament to what's possible. If you're a fan of fast-paced, aggressive FPS, with the very weapon selection to get the job done with pleasure, all within well-designed levels, Prodeus is a must. Again, this game's amazing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you have any thoughts, please leave a comment, or if you found potential in me and what I could produce, please subscribe. Once more, thank you all, and have a good one.